Yeah, it's Palm Peeps Television Sound sitting here today for episode 11, I believe, of Spellbound. If you guys couldn't tell by the rather drab tone of my voice, I'm not in the best mood. I won't be the most entertaining this episode, but I said I would record Spellbound Schoolgirls today, so I'm going to. My nods. Seriously, it doesn't seem like she's joking. I figured there might be some kind of problem, but isn't this too cruel? Really? You tried all the keys? All of them. Not one of them even fit in the lock. I should have been able to tell just by looking at them, but I guess I wanted to at least try. My smiling, but her voice is tinged with sadness. Kana doesn't say anything more. Her gaze focuses on the table. The atmosphere in the committee room turns dark. Before I consider saying something, it's not over, is it? Haruna speaks up. Haruna? Are we stopping after one try? No, I guess not. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. When she exhales and opens her eyes, there's a determined expression on her face. Sorry, everyone. I guess I got a bit frustrated. I'd be too after a twist like that. So, we aren't giving up? No. Well, I'm not. I don't know about the rest of you. That goes without saying. I'm still not giving up. Me neither. It's not like I have anything better to do. My smile grows wider at each of our responses. Thanks. All of you. Maya retrieves the map of the school. Alright, the plan remains the same. The office was our best option, but that doesn't mean it was the only one. The broom gym, the brewing labs, all the other special facilities. Right, they're unlikely. Well, we have to be thorough now. You know, there's a chance someone is just holding on to them. That would be terrible, especially if it's someone like the headmaster. Surprisingly, Mike doesn't look distressed by this possibility. That's fine. I thought of that happening. So you have a plan if that's the case? Of course. The plan is to just make a plan. The three of us stare at her. That's not... Wait, Kana, let's see if she can figure it out herself. Do you need to lie down? I'm neither crazy nor do I need a break. What I said isn't strange. If someone has the key, then we just need to deal with that. We'll deal with problems as they come. My expression is as calm as always, but there's silent resolve flowing off her. Seeing that, I find myself smiling. Yeah, this suits you much better than being depressed like I am, a fat, fucking obese, lonely piece of shit virgin who will never have anyone who gives a fuck about them in their life. Looking at how Harun and Kana are smiling too, I assume they agree. After Maya assigns us areas we should search, we decide to call it a day. I'm getting up to leave when Maya pulls me aside while Harun and Kana chat. Austin, don't forget you have your punishment tomorrow. How do I respond to that? Sure, I'll remember. You don't sound excited. Show me a person who gets excited for manual labor. It's for a good cause. That should motivate you, right? I'll be sure to remember that while I'm plucking weeds. Putting that aside, I need you to do me a favor. What's up? My glances at Kana. I'm worried about her. She's even more down than I am about this. Can't argue there. Do you mind cheering her up? Are you sure I'm the best person for that job? I would do it myself, but she's still a bit distant with me. Right. Well, I'll see what I can do. No promises. That much is okay. Eventually, we leave the committee room and exit the school building. Haruna and I stay behind to do committee work, so it's just me and Kana. So, how do I approach this? I agree that Kana needs cheering up, but that's easier said than done. Austin? Hmm? Yeah? Do you do you mind if we go to the library? I don't mind. But why? I wanted to try to I want to try to narrow down our search options. I think if we do a bit more research, we can find the key faster. I see. It really was bothering her. Still, if this helps. Alright, let's go. It doesn't take us long to arrive in the bustling library, fuller than normal. So, where do we start? Kana is silent as she thinks. There are two categories we need to focus on: school history and magical world history. Why does this school have a section for its own history? Kana gives me a small smile. The school's ancient. It was already considered old during the Great Magic War. That old? Yep, it's rich with history, so naturally it has its own section. We should probably split up. Really? They're both incredibly broad topics. Each one has a lot of shelves dedicated to them, so it'll take us forever if we don't split up. I get you. So, who gets what? Well, I don't actually have a preference. Both are interesting to me. Which one do you want? I think I'll go for magical world history. All I really know is that there's a war a while back. Kana nods. That's not a bad choice. The history of our world is rich. There are a lot of things to study besides the war. We split up and quickly gather books that seem interesting. After about 30 minutes, we meet back in the study area with the desks. Kana is already there and looks surprised at the number of books I'm carrying. Why did you bring so many? I wasn't sure what was important. I decided to go for quantity over quality. Okay, let me check them then. She picks a book at random. This one's good, but the author is terrible. It's hard to read, so give it to me. She takes another. This author has great explanations. Not explanations. I'm stupid. She's also a former treasure hunter. Like this, she quickly sorts the books I brought. I've read this one. This one is useless. The author doesn't list his sources. This one never checks his facts. Soon enough, there are 3 different piles in front of us. One for useless books, one's she'll read, and one's I should read. Kana, you're amazing. Why? You've already read through half of the stuff. You know all these authors. Oh, that's what you mean. Kana shyly fiddles with her fingers. There's just all this knowledge sitting nearby. I would be ashamed to not use it, so I come here in my spare time. You enjoy that? Definitely. It's like every book has its own mystery. Sometimes it's easy to solve. Other times, it's a really fun challenge to figure out the book's meaning. Like a puzzle. Something like that. My favorite is when you have 2 authors arguing with each other through their books. People do that? Yep. It feels like 2 kids throwing big words at each other. It's really great. Besides all that, reading books is the only way I can help find the treasure. I guess you really want to find it. That's part of the reason, but I'd also just like for Mai to have it. Wait, really? Yeah, she deserves it for all the work she's done. With how distant she is with Mai, I thought Kana didn't like her. That's good. I was worried about you and Mai. It looked like you didn't like her. Huh? What gave you that? She stops, drifting into thought. I guess I could see why you'd think that. But it looks like I was wrong. Yeah, it's not that I don't like her. For a lot of reasons, I can't approach her much. Oh. But I think I'm getting better at it. Good. I think she was about to cry if you kept avoiding her. Kana chuckles. Let's avoid that. Haruna would be mad. We finally get into browsing through all the books for information. Every time I feel like I'm about to find something interesting, the book veers off course. Kana doesn't seem to have much luck either. By the time the library seems about to close, we haven't found anything. Walking towards the dorm, Kana lets out a sigh beside me. Naturally, her mood has gotten worse than before we left the committee room. I don't think it was a waste of time. How do you figure? I mean, now I know the library is useless to us. Kana lets out an even bigger sigh. Thanks for trying, Austin. I just really hoped we'd find a clue. Make some progress or something. Hasn't our progress up till now been good, though? We found a basement that wasn't even on the school's blueprints. At the very least, that proves the school's hiding something. Makes the chances of there being treasure that much higher, I think. I get that, and it's good, but I guess I'm just impatient. I really wanted a clue about the key. Yeah, I get that. I sink into my thoughts. We've picked a few places, but I just don't have much hope for them. Sorry about that. Then where would the key be? There's no other. Huh? I stopped walking. Maybe that's the clue. What? The fact that we can't find the key might be the clue we need. Think about it. You're a teacher in charge of keeping a key hidden. What do you keep in a public space? No, of course not. I put it somewhere where students couldn't get to it. Her eyes widen. We thought that meant the teacher's office, but Maya has access to the office. All the teachers know that. And the broom gym and brewing room wouldn't make any sense. Places teachers can freely access, but students absolutely can't. This narrows down the search options by a lot. Well, let's not get too excited. This is just a theory. But it's a good one, I guess. But it wouldn't have come up if it weren't for you. What? I wouldn't have even come up if you hadn't been here with it. Sorry, I'll reread that. I'm stupid. I wouldn't have even come up with it if you hadn't been here. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Faster than I can react, Kana jumps at me. Her arms wrap around my shoulders in a tight hug. Still. Thanks, Austin. I don't really know what I'm being thanked for. That's fine. Sure. Kana suddenly grows rigid. Slowly, her face dyed a deep red as she pulls away from me. I'm sorry. Keep calm, me. Handle this in the nicest way possible. No, nothing to be sorry about. Right, still, it was sudden, so... Really, it's fine. In fact, I should thank you. No, I don't think you need to. Thanks. It was... pleasant. No problem. This is not the atmosphere I wanted, but whatever. I tried. Austin, you really are awkward in the strangest places. I try very hard not to be. Kana nods and starts to walk again. I follow behind her. But that part of you wasn't bad. I guess I'm fine with it then. We continue our walk back to the dorms. It might be my imagination, but it feels like she's a bit closer than before. Before we separate, we agree to have Haruna check out her theory in the morning. The next day, I managed to find Haruna pretty easily on the way to school. Kana left the dorms before me, so I explained our theory to her alone. So, what do you think? Haruna carefully considers my words. It makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I wasn't looking forward to searching through all those other locations. Then do you have any ideas of where you could start looking? I would say the teachers' dorms and maybe their restrooms, but getting in there doesn't seem possible. Not at all. Though, Mai might be able to find a way. I thought this before, but isn't the student committee chairwoman overpowered? A little, but Mai uses her powers for good, so it's okay. The school day drags on, and the break finally arrives. After buying myself a sandwich from the cafeteria, I head to the committee room. I figure I can wait till after school, but better to find out if this plan could work early. I knock on the door, but there's no response. I knock again. Is she not here? I'm about to leave, but a suspicion keeps me where I am. I turn the handle of the door. She left it unlocked. That's not like her. I push the door open and find mine napping with her head on her desk. Maps and documents are scattered all over the room. Did she spend the night here? Murmuring in her sleep, I can't help but think she looks cute like this. It's too bad her image is ruined by the mess around her. I check my watch. I have time. Silently, I start to organize all the documents around her. The maps are harder to manage, but they tuck away nicely once I fold them. Around the time I'm finishing up, my stirs. Sluggishly, she lifts her head up and looks around. Austin? Oh, did I wake you? She stares at me for a long time, then rubs her eyes. You're real. What else would it be? I thought I was having an especially great dream. This place is cleaner than when I went to sleep. I put away the last of the documents, because I cleaned it. You can sleep more if you want. Stretching, my shakes her head. No, there's work to be done. I still have to. Catch. Hey. Fumbling, I manages to catch a sandwich I throw at her. What is this? It's lunch, or maybe breakfast for you. When last did you eat? Yesterday. Wait, that's not the point. I don't need this. I'm not... Oh, she's cut off by a growling sound from her stomach. I thought that only happened in cartoons. Pretend you didn't hear anything. Will do. In exchange, eat something and rest a bit. I can't. Kana and Haruna are still working hard, aren't they? For my sake, those two are putting in everything they have. I can't slack off. I have to repay their faith in me. That's a pretty adult way to look at it. Thank you. But who says you need to be the adult all the time? Austin, it's time to keep that up, right? You can just be with us, though. I think Haruna and Kana would appreciate that more. My frowns like she wants to refuse and then unwraps the sandwich and takes a bite. It's good. Of course, I only choose the best. After finishing the sandwich in record time, she glances at me. You aren't eating? I'll grab something later. Oh, wait. She narrows her eyes at me. That was your sandwich, wasn't it? I consider lying, but she looks like she's already on to me. I nod. My face is immediately dyed scarlet. Oh, cute. Why would you do that? You looked hungry. Am I astray? She looks more embarrassed than genuinely angry. Sighing, she rests her chin on her palm. How much do I owe you? You can pay me back by taking better care of yourself. You're dangerous because you can say stuff like that with a straight face. What does that mean? Don't worry about it. So, what brings you by? I grin. What, I can't just come to take a look at your sleeping face? Sure, as long as you're prepared to die in a sea of flames. So, Connor and I were talking yesterday. You switched gears quickly enough. I explain our theory to Mai. And you think I can get you into the teacher's dorms? You can't? Mai hesitates before responding. I could. It would take a lot of begging and calling in some favors. But I could. That's good news then. You understand the risks here though, right? If you're caught, getting expelled will be the least of your worries. I'd better not get caught then. Mai stares at me seriously for a long moment. Mind if I ask you something? I'd rather you didn't. What? Why? Because you have a really serious look on your face, and it scares me. I just want to know, why are you going this far for the treasure? That's a good question. I used to be much more cautious. Why do I want to find the treasure? Honestly, I think it's the adventure. Really? That's it? Hey, I've never experienced magic before now. This is all new to me. I understand. I was like that when I was younger too. So, you don't get excited for adventure anymore? Mai scoffs as if that was a silly question. You think I'd be looking for a hidden treasure if I didn't like adventure? Huh, guess we're both reckless then. I'm fine with being comrades in this. Mai gets up and stretches her body. Seems like you won't back down. I'll get started on organizing a way for us to get into the dorms. Once we get in there, though, we won't have any leads. Would be nice if we had a bit more to go on. I shrug. Things tend to work out for us, don't they? Let's bet on that and do everything we can. With a bit of hope keeping me motivated, the rest of the day breezes by. As soon as the final bell rings, I get up and leave class. When I'm about to head off to the committee room, Haruna stops me. Where are you going? Class is over. I was going to see if Mai made any progress. Haruna sighs. Mai was worried you'd forget. It's good I checked on you. Forget what? Your punishment. It takes me a full minute to remember what she's talking about. But I don't want to go. Sorry, but Chris is already expecting you. Can be helped then. Anything I should know about him? Not really. He tends to keep to himself. Nice. Sounds like the work will be peaceful at least. I've heard the other teachers say he talks too much though. Of course there'd be a catch. Depressed, I make my way into the dorm area and find Chris already there. Hello. I'm Austin. He stops pulling at weeds and then greets me with a smile. You're the one who signed up for punishment. I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. He's normal? For some reason, I expected some massive, creepy-looking old guy. So, where do we start? Well, you can pick up some gloves over there. He gestures to a pile of gardening tools. I'm only working outside today, so I'll start with weeding. Right, do I just yank them out, or I'll talk you through it. If there's anything you don't get, ask me. Through the process of him teaching me, I come to one conclusion. He's just a regular and nice guy. Maybe I'd been exposed to too much weirdness lately, but somehow this is refreshing. Even the constant talking Haruna warned me about isn't as bad as I expected. So, back then, we still had the dungeons. So there were dungeons. I knew it. We had to get rid of them when the school was renovated. But back then we were still dealing with the war, so most of what he talks about is the school's history. To other students this might be boring, but this just sounds like a really epic fantasy story to me. We're halfway through the work when the topic shifts. Alright, so that's where the rumors of a hidden treasure started. Wait, can you tell me more about that? Huh? You're interested in that? It's a pretty old story. You sure you don't want to hear about the heaven-splitting sword? Or the cursed wand of the abyss? What are those? They sound cool. No, focus. I can ask about all that later. I've heard rumors, but never any details. Do you mind talking about it? I suppose. It's just a rumor, after all. He takes me through the legend of the hidden treasure. I already know most of the rumor, so I have to pretend to be amazed. Near the end, he looks around and lowers his voice. There's another part of the rumor no one knows about, though. Really? Yeah, this is all just a rumor, though, so don't take it to heart, okay? I struggle to keep my excitement in check. Gotcha. Well, basically, rumor has it that the key to that treasure is in the school. This it is. Oh, sorry, this is it. I'm stupid. Specifically, the rumor says it's in the library. Anyways, guys, this has been Teflon77 with episode 11 of Spellbound Schoolgirls, and I'm out of the house. Bye.